The heated debate around Brexit, that is the United Kingdom's imminent departure from the European Union, continues in the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, the top officials of the European Union are softening towards, quote-unquote, their British friends. Addressing the plenary session of the European Parliament in Strasbourg, the President of the European Council, Donald Tusk, reached out to the United Kingdom in a much softer tone than heard in Europe since the UK referendum was held to leave the European Union.
If the UK government sticks to its decision to leave, Brexit will become a reality, with all its negative consequences, in March next year, unless there is a change of heart among our British friends. Wasn't it David Davis himself who said, "If a democracy cannot change its mind, it ceases to be a democracy"? We, here on the continent, haven't had a change of heart. Our hearts are still open to you. Thank you.
Mr. Tusk's remarks were reiterated by his colleague, the European Commission's President Jean-Claude Juncker. Donald Tusk, the President of the European Council, warned of Brexit negative consequences and hope for a change of heart.
It was an unexpected speech to European politicians that has reignited the debate in Britain if Brexit can be stopped.
Brexit will become a reality, with all its negative consequences, in March next year, unless there is a change of heart among our British friends.
Donald Tusk used the Brexit Secretary's own words against him, saying, wasn't it David Davis himself who said, "If a democracy cannot change its mind, it ceases to be a democracy"? He followed his speech with a tweet.
We, here on the continent, haven't had a change of heart. Our hearts are still open to you.
A staunch Remain campaigner, the former Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg, supported Tusk. Donald Tusk is right. The world has moved on since June 2016. Brexiteers keep banging on about freedom, but one of the greatest freedoms is the freedom to change your mind. While the Leave EU Twitter made a sharp quip about Tusk's speech. Donald Tusk, that clingy ex that doesn't get the message. Britain remains still a deeply divided country over Brexit. While Remainers have cheered his speech, seeing it as hope to remain in the European Union, many Brexiteers see it as a cynical tactic by the EU to try and keep Britain in the bloc. It seems like it was pro-Brexit campaigner Nigel Farage's call for a second referendum that inspired Tusk's speech. While Farage believes a second vote would see even more support for Brexit, Remain campaigners believe the opposite is true. A new poll suggests that more than half of Britain would back another say on EU membership, but the government has said there will be no second vote ahead of the UK's exit in March 2019. Mandy Clark, WION, London.
In an embarrassing situation for a British MP, Desmond Swayne appeared to fall asleep during the Brexit debate in the House of Commons. As Conservative politician Ken Clarke was giving major speech on the European Union withdrawal bill, Swayne leaned his head to the side and appeared to nod off. After Clarke raised his voice when talking about the Charter for the Fundamental Rights, Swayne jolted back, rested his head in his hand and smiled.
Retrospectively, why we have this confusion about what is effectively primary. But the Charter of Fundamental Rights was the bit I was least keen on, and which I thought was, on the whole, unnecessary, largely duplicated the Convention of Human Rights, wasn't going to make any difference.